What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Kang Gang Pod, episode 10.
10, baby.
We made it to the big double digits, baby.
Come on, let's go.
10 episodes in. We are feeling good. We got Cristo, Ryan Clark, Arteezy, and we have a very special guest. We have Marvin Bagley in the building, filling in for the pod. We got Marvin Bagley. We are so excited to have a brand new guest on the show.
Let's go.
And This is
damn. This is awkward.
This is awkward. Well,
did we trade Marvin Bagley for
Johnny Miner?
we did a one for one trade. Marvin Bagley for here. Take a seat here.
Get out of here!
Hey!
Easy.
Whoa!
Wow!
Oh my God!
Johnny Miner, welcome to the show. So,
Am I welcome?
You're very much welcome. I would have you over. I would have drafted you over Marvin in a heartbeat.
Seat stinks, dude.
Yeah.
don't talk bad about Marvin in this household.
Can we get another cutout? Him of all kings, you put in my seat. Artee's seat. Artee's the fan of him.
Yeah. That's.
Hey, we have the receipts about Ryan Clark.
Man.
I hate Marvin Bagley, dude.
When 500 followers on Instagram, we will reveal those receipts. So follow the
follow the
Instagram
Instagram.
page.
Once we get 500 followers, we're gonna show you what Ryan Clark said back during the 2018 draft. He was excited, and we have the receipts. Johnny kept them.
Kept them
for how long?
6
historical purposes.
6-7 years.
Because he knew that they would need to resurface at some point. And
Yeah, I was a Luka fan since day one, so I'll die on that hill.
hey, you have what I said. Remember, right?
What?
We'll show it when we get to 500. We'll put it on the Kang Gang story.
Like you said
I was like,
during the draft.
I was like, we got to get Luka, and then
Yeah,
Archie's like,
yeah.
no, Bagley's about to be so good.
Yeah. If only there was a video of him. Remember that video of that Kings fan that cried when we didn't pick Bagley or something?
Yeah.
Or when we picked Bagley.
He's like,
and
yes!
He's like, let's go!
That's my favorite.
That's my all-time favorite.
We need that guy on the pod. This is
Dude.
just
Ask him for his updated.
Yes.
a life update with the Marvin Bagley biggest fan. All right, guys, welcome back to episode 10. We actually did record about 3 minutes before Johnny got here because we wanted to pull a little prank on the man. We wanted to make it seem like we were replacing him with Marvin Bagley. But hey, 10 episodes in. We made it to double digits, boys. Let's freaking go. This is episode 10, and this, I think this is the most important episode we've done. Not because we just hit our first milestone, but because De'Aaron
Martez Fox. Yes. I've never heard his middle name more.
3, 2, 1.
De'Aaron Martez Fox.
We love you so much, dude. Thank you for what you've done the past 2 games. Let's start talking about what unfolded today. Kings versus Jazz. We were recording this about 10 minutes after the game ended. My God. We knew it was going to be a close game because we were missing DeMar, Malik, and Domantas Sabonis. And De'Aaron Fox, he does what De'Aaron does, and this man went crazy.
Man.
Let's just break it down. So this was Orlando Robinson's first game. We had quite the different lineup because we were missing.
didn't have anybody.
We were missing our stars.
We were missing
Called up
everybody.
Orlando Robinson yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, he was just cleared to play. So
he had a big game in Stockton.
Yeah, he had 26. Yeah, he had a great game.
Yeah,
So we
great
pulled him
game.
up, and our starting lineup for tonight was Fox, Herter, Doug McDermott, Keegan Murray, and Trey Lyles.
That's wild.
I was honestly, I was shocked, but I'm like, no, I like it.
When I saw Keegan doing the jump ball in the beginning, I had to brush my eyes. I'm like, am I seeing straight? Am I dreaming? It was so weird seeing him go up for
Keegan
it, but
at
he
the
actually almost
starting
had
5. I know, dude. I think that's one thing I like about Mike Brown. He's not afraid to just throw out some random lineups, see what sticks. And yeah, we had Keegan starting at the 5 tonight, which was insane. First half, De'Aaron Fox, 26 points. I think from the very beginning, we knew he was I think once that first shot went in, we're like, De'Aaron's going to do it again. I think we texted in the group chat. I'm like, he might go for 50 tonight. And that was before the game. That was after the first point. I'm like, you just could tell that he had a chip on his shoulder. He knew his best friends, his teammates, his ride or dies were out, and it was his job to get the win tonight.
Yeah. He's just been on a killer mindset lately, and I'm finally glad that De'Aaron's getting the recognition that he deserves because we've watched him for 8 years now. And we've seen performances like this. Obviously, we haven't seen him get 60, right? His career high was 44 before, or 46, sorry. But
no, it was 44.
It was 44,
yeah. But basically, yeah, we're just glad De'Aaron has this killer mindset and he's finally getting recognition. I saw Anthony Edwards said post-game, Fox has been one of his favorite point guards in the league for a while and has said that he's underrated as well. So if your peers in the league are saying that about you, it's definitely a good sign. But I'm just glad that people around the league are recognizing Fox for being an absolute bucket because we've seen it for years.
These games were absolutely personal for him. I think going back to the ESPN's rankings, where do you think he lands now?
Top 15. Top 15.
I think he's playing
bare minimum.
He's playing
bare minimum.
One of the best point guards in the Western Conference right now.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Easily.
Archie and I were talking right before you got here. We're like, De'Aaron Fox is winning Western Conference Player of the Week by far.
Yeah.
Easily.
These past 3 games were unstoppable. But Archie, what did you see in the first half?
Oh man, he didn't miss a shot in that first quarter. He went 7 for 7. And then
he had 15, right? 15 in the first quarter?
18, I think.
Oh, 18. Yeah, you're right. It was 18.
It was 18, yeah. Because he had
that last minute 3.
Yeah, the last minute 3. Yeah. You could just tell that you knew that the burden of the scoring was going to be through him. He just basically came out, and it looked like, you thought 60 points the night before, something light. He comes out and starts off hot like that. I was like, oh yeah, he's going to get what is going to get his. So I'm like, go for it, bro.
Everyone step back.
It's the De'Aaron show. Yes, literally the De'Aaron show.
Dude, it was unbelievable. Like, obviously, we're going to get into the Timberwolves game after we talk about this game, but my God, he has been playing like a different beast out there. And even with that, like, dislocated finger or whatever's going on with his hand, like, it's not an issue right now.
I don't think it's an issue anymore.
And, like, what I loved about what he was doing today was he's just relying on what he does best, getting to his spots in the mid-range. He only shot 4 3-pointers tonight, and he ends up with 49 points. It should have been 52, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He is going to...
Making free throws, buddy.
Yeah, he's going to be kicking himself after missing those 3 free throws, but my God, like, seeing De'Aaron doing what he does best, driving to the basket, getting to the free throw line, shooting that mid-range, like, he could do this night in and night out, and we saw
and nobody can stop him.
No one could stop him. Whoever's guarding him, like, is in for a wild night. Good luck to whoever's on defense.
Yeah. And let's talk about the highlight of literally his shoe coming off in the middle of a fast break, and he's able to put the shoe back on and still score.
It's funny
in the same possession. Like, that's pretty crazy.
It's him and Curry both have that happen to them. I don't know if it's an Under Armour boys thing. I don't know if it's a Curry brand thing.
Curry brand, probably.
But I think it's just De'Aaron's too quick that his shoes can't keep up with him.
I know.
I think that might be it.
So back to the first half, it was a very scrappy game. It was great to see our bench, like RT and I were talking about before.
11 deep.
We played 11 deep tonight, and those boys were playing like their contracts depend on it. It was amazing to see Mike Brown finally utilize his bench, and they all got really decent minutes tonight. We saw Mason Jones, we saw Isaac Jones, we saw a lot of guys that normally would never play, and they got valuable minutes tonight, and they all performed. In that second half, yeah, it was a very scrappy game, and then the Utah Jazz go on a 11-0 run to end the second quarter. We were up about 12 points, and then they cut it to within 1 going into the second half.
Yeah, so I think, like I said, I think it was really, really impressive to see the entire offense, entire like 11 players going deep. I think that was super impressive. I was very impressed with Orlando Robinson with those early first half minutes. Isaac Jones looked very good in those first half minutes as well. So just having that depth that you can rely on is very, very nice. And I think that allows you to be more trustworthy, especially if Glenn goes down with an injury or Domas, like tonight that he had an injury. You can really tell that you can really rely on those guys a lot. And that helps a lot with just your depth and being able to have young guys that are just going to give you that big man energy that's young too.
Yeah, I mean, it has to be a collective effort when you're missing as many guys as we are, right? When your best players are out, you need people on the bench to step up. And I've been vocal on the pod about Jordan McLaughlin getting those minutes. And I love to share the news that he had the highest plus minus on everyone on the team with a plus 12.
Plus 12. Let's go.
Yes.
Wow.
So, like I've been saying on previous shows, very steady, reliable point guard. 22 minutes tonight, 2 for 4 from 3. He's knocking down his shots, 3 rebounds in that time, 5 assists as well. So yeah, I mean, it's going to have to be a team effort, but you love seeing the Jordan McLaughlin step up, the Orlando Robinson step up in his first game, King's debut with us. And everyone's rebounding. Everyone off the bench had at least 3 rebounds, it looks like. So you just love to see that. It has to be collective effort when you're missing your top guys.
I know, and as much as you hate to see Sabonis miss a game, DeMar, Malik miss multiple weeks, I think it's better for our team moving forward that we could finally get these guys on the court. They could finally like get some type of rhythm with each other, because normally they come in like in the dead minutes at the end of a game. But seeing them actually play valuable time, really getting used to like the flow of playing with like a De'Aaron Fox, and it's great to see. And like, I know this is De'Aaron Fox's week, like we should just only be highlighting De'Aaron Fox, but I want to ask you guys this: what are your thoughts on Keegan Murray only shooting the ball 2 times when, like we've been saying, we're missing 3 huge pieces, and you think who should be stepping up in this time? Keegan Murray. He only shoots the ball 2 times in the first half. What do you think?
I think it's just a matter of asking, because we've seen Keegan be aggressive. I think that he has the potential. I think especially in the year 3, when it's really a big year for you to make that big jump, and we've discussed about it in the pod, I think that the X factor is Keegan Murray in that 3rd year, taking that step forward. I think to me that's the most important part, because if he is not able to make that step forward, you kind of think like, oh, did he reach his ceiling too early? Was it something that, because he can get to that ceiling. I'm still believing Keegan Murray. He's doing great stuff, and I think he's doing more on the rebounding side. He's playing more of a defensive side of things. Right now, I just think that he just needs to be more confident in his shot. And I just think somebody like Mike Brown, De'Aaron Fox, Malik Monk needs to be that veteran to tell him like, hey, you're confident with that shot. Be able to shoot that. You're one of the most elite young 3-pointers shooters in the league. You have that ability to be very good at what you can do, and we have full faith in you. So I think the veteran leadership of telling Keegan like, hey, you are capable of getting that shot up and being able to be aggressive, I think that's something that's going to be very important for Keegan.
Yeah, I think he knows. I think Keegan knows he has the trust of everyone in the locker room. He has the trust of the fans, the coaching staff. He played the most minutes tonight, so obviously Mike Brown is trusting him on the defensive end, even if his shots aren't going in. Still had 6 total rebounds, so he's still helping the team win, even though his shot's not falling. Do you wish he was a little bit more aggressive with scoring? Yes, but I think it's just because us as Kings fans know how lethal he is, so we want him to shoot as many times as possible. But in his defense, he's doing so much on that defensive end. He's guarding the best player, guarded Laurie pretty much the most of the night, very well, actually. And, obviously the shots, he's, gonna make or miss some of these shots. He's streaking a little bit, but we still have belief in him, and he's gonna keep that confidence. So I think the shots will eventually fall in, but it helps that he's helping on other areas of the floor other than shooting.
I know. I mean, like, he is definitely the Sacramento fan favorite, him and Malik Monk by far. But
yeah,
like RT was saying, his 3rd year, like this is when players at the end, they get that big contract extension. Like if you're a very good player, you get that max contract going forward. I mean, I don't know if like contract stuff is on his mind. I don't know if maybe he's just tired from playing an amazing defense on the team's best player. Like he was guarding Anthony Edwards all night, and he plays Lauri Markkanen.
He was never asked to do that ever in his basketball career. At Iowa, he was a capable defender, but he was never a lockdown defender.
He was like their scorer, and now you get into the league, and you have to basically adjust your role because there's better scorers on your team, like Malik Monk, Fox.
And you have to guard better players.
Yeah, you have to guard better players.
So we're asking a lot of them. And obviously, we have, like I was saying, we have all the confidence in him to keep shooting the ball. I think the shots were going to go in eventually, but I think he's just transitioning and being a 2-way player because he really hasn't been, right? He's just been mainly a scorer thus far in his career. But I think his mindset shift is going to change eventually, and he has all the confidence in everyone.
And a 2-way player is the most sought-after player in the NBA, and I think the fact that we have that on our team is incredible. Obviously, we'd love to see him shoot as many times as he wants, but,
still rebounding.
He's a team player. Yeah. He's just trying to do what's best for the team. Second half. It was an ugly 3rd quarter. The Jazz got into the bonus with about 5.5 minutes left in the 3rd quarter. So they were just shooting so many free throws. I don't know if you have the stats pulled up, Johnny, but I believe it was at some point in the 4th quarter they've shot. They shot 39 free throws at a certain point. I remember Kyle Draper saying it.
Yeah,
that's a lot of free throws for a team. And luckily, they weren't making a lot of them. But I mean, I mean, they were missing a handful, but still, like, that's a ton of free throws. Again, like, I don't want to harp on the refs. This is not a ref hating. I used to be a basketball ref for Cal State Fullerton intramural, so I know what it's like being out there. It's not easy, but that's a lot of free throws, and it always seems like just the fouls don't go the Kings' way. But yeah, it was a really disgusting third quarter, but
brutal.
And I think we got down close to 10.
I think we were down 11 at one point.
Yeah, I was starting to get a little nervous, honestly, in third quarter. But to end the third quarter, the Kings go on a 9-3 run to cut the lead to 4 points going into the fourth quarter. So that was huge. Fourth quarter was a little bit of a blur for me because I was just so focused on De'Aaron hitting that 50 mark, because I was just like, this is NBA history we're talking about. The only other player to score more than De'Aaron did in the past 2 games is Kobe Bryant at 110. In Sacramento franchise history, he has the record, but I was like, what we're witnessing right now, like, we're never going to forget this for the rest of our lives. Like, I was like so locked in on De'Aaron. I was like, get to your spots, like, do your thing. And man, those free throws, like, I think we're all going to have that what if he just made those couple free throws? He would have been at the top of an almost impossible list to beat, and it's just incredible. But back to the fourth quarter, J-Mac, he checks in with 2 minutes to go. Mike Brown decides to go small, and J-Mac hits an incredible three-pointer.
J-Mac, I love you.
And we go up 2 points, and I was like, dude, this
Mr.
man,
Reliable.
Mr. Reliable, Mr. Incredible. We got to think of more nicknames for Mr. J-Mac, but that was amazing. We end up playing solid defense at the end. Even with Fox's missed free throws, we end up winning the game, and that's all what matters at the end of the day, obviously, selfishly. And just as a stats, someone that loves statistics, I would have loved for him to get that 50
I know.
Because
I know he's thinking about that for sure. He's thinking about those free throws. But
and Malik was giving him a hard time on the bench. Like, he was shooting and he missed, and like Malik was like giving him a hard time. And I was like, dude, I love the relationship. It's so funny. And I was like, Fox is not going to hear the end of that.
Yeah, no, he's a man on a mission. He's getting to his spots at will, right? And you just love to see that. You love to see that, especially when, he wasn't necessarily scoring that much when DeMar was healthy, right, earlier in the year. It's nice to have him have this breakout campaign for when DeMar comes back, and hopefully he keeps it up.
Yeah, I mean, keep it rolling, man.
Yeah. I'm just excited to see what he could do in the next game. Like, think about this.
But we do miss though. You do miss Malik. You do miss Sabonis. You do miss DeMar. Obviously, because that would have been a different story. But man, it's just so incredible just to see the way that De'Aaron has able to just carry himself. I think a lot of stars rely on their other pieces to be a team, and you can just tell that De'Aaron doesn't really necessarily have that same impact. You can basically just be like, hey, if De'Aaron Fox is your main guy and he can get you there, he can win you games by himself. But I know
we've seen it in the past. We've seen it our whole career as being Kings, or ever since De'Aaron's got here, we've seen it. But now that he has all this extra help, and seeing when they go out and he still is that force on the court, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. So it was an amazing game. Let's break down the stats really quick. Fox had 49 points and 9 assists. He shot 16 for 30 from the field, over 50%, and shot 3 for 4 from the three-point line. I said it earlier. I just love the fact that he's getting majority of his points from inside the three-point arc. Like, that is insane.
And he's also facilitating the ball. 9 assists is a very, very good stat, especially if you're putting up 49 points. Just being
We're not worthy.
Yeah,
we are not worthy.
Just elite playmaking. It's not just. I always say that playmaking isn't always about scoring. It's always about just making the best play for your team. And sometimes you have to be a facilitator to be a playmaker too. So,
exactly.
Like, you look at all the elite playmakers, like Nikola Jokic is like the top of the list of that, because like what he can do, he is such a playmaker offensively that he just is such a Swiss Army knife. And we saw glimpses of that. Yeah, he's just scoring paint outside. I mean, dude, it's insane. It's insane what he does. But just seeing Fox have that same mentality of that idea where you could basically score or just facilitate.
And he's still defending so well.
And defense too. Like, he's
playing
doing it
heavy
on
minutes,
both ends.
he's scoring, he's like getting deflections. He's
on both ends.
Dude, he is playing out of his mind right now. The Kings shot the 3 ball extremely well tonight. John, if you have the stats in front of you, I believe we had 18 threes. Or was it more?
19.
19.
Let's go.
Unbelievable.
Let's go.
Like,
46%.
I know it's too early to say we're back from the 3-point line because we're not, but that is obviously amazing to see.
Let's talk about some of the other guys that shot the 3 well.
Kevin Herter, he had 18 points. He shot 5 for 12 from the 3-point line. Trey Lyles.
5
Thank
for 7.
God for Trey. Trey is back, everyone.
Let's go.
He had 17 points, like Johnny said, 5 for 7 from 3.
He was just reading a bad book. I think that's what it was. I think now he's on some J.K. Rowling banger or something. I don't know.
Maybe he's reading the Harry Potter series.
Maybe.
I think he's maybe reading the next book that Christo's reading right now.
I don't know. I think he was just going through a little rough time, but he's back.
And then like he said in interviews, he's like, yeah, dude, like I missed the whole preseason. Like he was injured, obviously, and like missing preseason, that's 5 games. So like it took him about 9 games to really, like he said, to get his legs back, like to really like get in conditioning.
Yeah, we saw it with Kevin Herter earlier in the year too.
And like just seeing those boys like Kevin and Trey hitting the 3 ball, it's like when we're hitting the 3, we're obviously a much better team.
Yeah, it helps our spacing too with Fox. Helps him have more room to drive and penetrate, and it's just great all
especially when
around.
we get paint touches, like when we get the ball in the paint and then we see Kevin or Trey and they're hitting, you swing it to them. RT loves using this word, spray offense.
Spray
to the 3-point line, boom. Like when they're hitting, dude, we're a very good team.
J-Mac in the corner feeds families.
Speaking of J-Mac, J-Mac only had 6 points tonight, but like he did so much more than just those 6 points. Alex Len, 8 points. Orlando Robinson in his Sacramento Kings debut, 6 points, 3 rebounds, and then RT's favorite player off the bench, Isaac Jones, with an easy 6.
He's a dog.
And he had a crazy layup over, what's his name? John Collins, which should have been an and one because they called the foul on him on the other end, and then he got his get back, and he had a crazy should have been and one layup over John Collins. Like
that was a tough finish.
It was a tough finish. Like,
oh my gosh,
thought he was going to dunk it at first, and the fact that he was able to stay in the air long enough to still finish that was a tough bucket.
So it was such an exciting game. Like obviously we were nervous. It was a roller coaster game, but
Orlando Robinson is shooting 100% for the Kings this season. So.
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah,
let's go.
Great
stat,
first
game, 2 for 2, 1 for 3. So he's
Dude, the
he's perfect in mind. He can retire
go.
right now and be one of the best Kings backup bigs of all time.
Yes, literally, I agree.
But that 3-point shot looked pure, and the fact that he only attempted 1, but the shot looked good, and he looked comfortable taking it. So we need to stretch big like that off the bench.
It's amazing. Like, I think Orlando Robinson's going to be a major piece for us moving forward.
For sure.
Obviously, Mike Brown has been waiting for him to come back because he didn't start Orlando Robinson. He didn't start Alex Len. And I think Orlando Robinson was the first big off the bench. Mm-hmm. So, like, I think Mike sees his potential, and he's going to utilize him heavy this year.
I hope.
It was a great game. The Kings got the win. Let's move on to the previous night.
Oh, baby.
The Kings taking on the Timberwolves in the NBA Cup.
Unravel.
That was a game. I was in the building. Johnny was in the building. It was a must-see game for many reasons.
Very electric.
First off, shout out to Adam Silver. The NBA Cup brings out a different type of energy. It felt like it was reminiscent of the Kings vs Warriors playoff series. That type of energy. My voice was cracking that night and this morning. That type of environment is like what you dream of as a sports fan. And Golden One Center really put on a show for us. It was such a great game.
All the NBA Cup games league-wide have been amazing.
Yeah.
So that's one of Adam Silver's best, I guess, inventions, you can say. Best additions to the league, I think, by far, is the NBA Cup.
And I don't know if you guys saw this, but before the game, Adam Silver announced that he's going to adjust the All-Star game this year. I don't know if you guys saw. I need to do more research on it. They brought it up, like they talked about it in the pregame, and I was like, there's something about 3 teams of 8. I don't know. They're changing it up this year, but I'm excited because the All-Star games in the past have been trash.
Whatever's cooking in Adam Silver's brain, I'm down for.
Dude,
that's a smart man.
He's making a big comeback right now.
Yeah.
So let's dive into this Wolves game. We have no DeMar DeRozan, no Malik Monk, of course, and first half Timberwolves were just taking care of business on us, like Ant Edwards and Julius. they were playing great. The Wolves lead the Kings 62-54 at the half. What did you guys see from the first half? What stood out? What was disappointing? What did you want to see more of? Why do you think the Kings were in that tough spot early on in the game?
I think physicality, when you look at, and I've said this before, I think the Minnesota Timberwolves are just a bad matchup for us.
Sorry, do you think it's a harder matchup without Karl Anthony Towns, or do you think like this current roster is a tougher matchup than the previous one?
Oh, see, that's harder. I feel like it's harder because I think Randall is a Kings killer. Like we saw in the first game, Randall kind of chilled out this game, obviously, but you've seen, Anthony Edwards is another year older. Rudy Gobert, defensive presence, just physical guys. Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a very physical wing. Jaden McDaniels, physical wing. Mike Conley is a very, very savvy point guard. I just feel like even during the Anthony Edwards era, so that's a hard question. I'd probably say yes more, just because
this year's team.
Yeah, because I think last year you could probably hunt Cat and you can get him in foul trouble a little bit. Yeah, Big Purr.
I'm Big Purr. I forgot to set the stage for this first half. We had the first time this season we started with this lineup. We had Fox, Herter, Keegan, DeMontis at the 4, Alex Len at the 5. So they had Sabonis guarding Julius Randle, and they had see what you're doing there. they had Sabonis guarding Randle, and they had Len guarding Gobert.
Yeah.
So I thought
it was interesting.
I think why we were struggling so much in the first half is not having DeMar DeRozan out there and having two bigs. Alex Len is not an offensive presence, so it was just such weird spacing at times, and we were like in that lineup, we were not playing well. No. And then I think we went small. We brought in Trey. We kind of like started figuring things out more. And then it was just a weird lineup to start the game. And then what was weird, when things were not working with that big lineup, Mike Brown starts with that exact same lineup to start the game when it wasn't working in the first half.
Yeah.
That was strange to me when you ended the first half with the smaller lineup. It was working out way better. And then you bring back Alex Len to start the third quarter, and then they go on I believe it was I wrote it down. I think they scored 12 in a row, and then they end up pushing the lead
up to 20, right?
20, yeah. And that's when Mike Brown calls a timeout. And I'm at the arena. I'm like, Mike, call the timeout when it was a 12-point lead, because we were going in down 8. Then they get it to 12. I'm like, okay, call a timeout. He doesn't, and then they just score so quickly, and then it blows up to 20 in like 2 minutes. I'm like, dude, this is an NBA Cup game. This is like, how are we going to bounce back?
I mean, Ant had the poster in the second half. Like,
there's
it was
a lot
just like,
not
my
going
God.
on our side. Johnny, what did you see from that lineup and just the first half in general?
Well, it's weird too because Alex Len only had 9 minutes, so I think his minutes were just that opening start and then the start of the second half.
I think he was in
the rest of the game.
I think he was in during those like terrible droughts, like what the Kings went in.
Yeah, so it's tough, but right away, Minnesota, that's their MO, right? They're going to shoot a lot of threes. They're going to be physical with us. I think Randall's a little bit of a harder matchup. When you were saying if Cat is a better one, I think Randall's actually harder against us than Cat because he's more physical, because he brings that paint presence, and he went crazy that first half. So you could just tell right away the T-Wolves, they're already comfortable playing us, right? I mean, they've already played in our arena before. The stakes are a little bit higher. Ant had 14 three-pointers attempted in the game, so you could just tell they were coming out aggressive, and that's their MO against us, right? Just come out, knock us in the mouth, and we weren't able to give punches back until our run later in the game.
And I believe the Timberwolves going into that game, they were on a 3-game losing streak. And you hate to see that. Obviously the fuel was both games we played against the Timberwolves. Coming off that loss against the Lakers in the beginning of the season, then they show out, both getting 30 balls, Julius and Edwards respectively. And then in this game, 3 in a row, that is, for a team that went to the Western Conference Finals, that pisses them off. And
sure.
Then they go into Anthony Edwards' favorite arena to play in, and then my God,
he's been so insane. I don't know what it is with the Timberwolves being at home. They just
at our home,
right? At our home, because we play them well on the road. We beat them on the road a couple times, but I looked at it last night at a stat, and I was completely shocked. So in the Ant Edwards era, We are 5-12 against him.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't even think he knows that.
I don't think he knows
I
that.
can't believe we played him that many times
And
already.
then he's been
that's
averaging
actually
like the
crazy.
last 4 games he's had 30 plus.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
is nuts.
I remember being at the game, and I was like, we're shooting it so bad, but we still had the game in our hands. Like, we were still within 10. But, I mean, our guys were obviously aggressive shooting the 3 ball. They just weren't going in. And it was a night where, obviously, we were missing DeRozan, still had Sabonis, gave us 23 points. Fox obviously had 60, and we really needed that third score. And when Keegan Murray's 2 for 7 for 3, and Kevin Herr is 0 for 3 from 3, you need someone else to step up. And we didn't really get that.
Yeah, so that third quarter, we were down 18 points. Fourth quarter starts. We go on a 14-0 run. Unbelievable. De'Aaron Fox has 20 points in the fourth. That's the Fox we know. I didn't write it down. I wanted to write it down by the quarter, what he had. I think he had, I could be wrong, but I think it was 12 in the first quarter, 9 in the second, and then third. I don't know, but he ended up with 54 at the end of the fourth quarter. So he went crazy. So you guys could do the math at home. But he went insane in that fourth quarter. That 14-0 run was basically him. Like, he was just on a mission.
Yeah.
And, dude, the arena completely flipped. Like, I think once we got it to 14, then we all knew, like, okay, it's coming. And then the fact that we cut it to 4 with, like, a lot of time left in the fourth quarter was insane. And that fourth quarter was crazy. That overtime was even crazier. But
yeah, anyone in section 206, I apologize for going crazy, but everyone was going crazy during that run. That was a really cool moment being in the arena for that. But yeah, I was just screaming. The Fox and Sabonis pick and roll, they were just going to every single time. You couldn't stop it.
Oh, that's another thing I forgot to mention. I believe it was the end of the third quarter. Sabonis goes out with lower back pain.
Yeah.
And then he rises from the ashes with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and him and Fox check back in, and I was like, thank God, we need this so bad right now. Let's talk about the end of the fourth quarter, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff that went down. A lot of, like, certain plays that could have completely swung the game. Let's start with, we were up 4 points, 113 to 109, I believe. And
man.
I think there is a minute left.
Yep. Can I set the stage on this one? Because this is where...
Because you watched from home. It's different when we're at the game.
So, and this is what happened. So, we go up by 4, okay? But about like a minute 30 left or so. There's like about 13 seconds left on the shot clock. Trey Lyles...
That's what it was.
...pulls up on a 3. And I think it is the most questionable shot selection of the entire season.
And Fox passed it to him. I think he passed it to him, like, expecting to get it back, but he had enough space to shoot it. But, like, you have the momentum. You
got to slow it down there. You got to slow it down. Yeah.
Use all 14, and if you miss, you wasted 14 seconds.
Yeah, and then that gave him an opportunity. Ant comes down and hits an and one on him too on the next possession.
A slow Euro step and one. I believe we miss the next go around, and I think Ant does it again.
Yeah, and then they go up by 2.
And that one was questionable foul call. Like, that, dude, some
Keegan,
of those calls were crazy. I'm like, yeah, it looks congested, like, in the paint, but, like, you can't call a foul on that. And then, of course, they go up, and then I believe we're getting the order right when we're about to get the rebound, and then Keon Ellis grabs it, kind of very similar with that Phoenix game.
Oh, yeah.
And he, instead of throwing it off of Julius, he tries to save it while falling out of bounds. He's off balance. It's really hard to, like...
It looked like there's a little shove there.
There was definitely... Oh, it's Mike Conley. Yeah, Mike Conley gives him a little shove. They don't call it. He's falling out of bounds. And, like, you should... Like, in that position, if you feel that, like, you should, like, throw it directly at them to, like, say, like, hey, like, don't, like... If they're not going to call it, I'm going to do something about it. Instead, he tries to save it, and it just goes out of bounds. And when you do that... Now knowing this, like, I didn't know this until... when we played the Suns the first time in Phoenix, when you do that, it resets the shot clock. So then, okay, at this point, I think we were tied because that's what happened. And then that's when Anthony Edwards had the chance to win the game before it went to overtime.
Oh, so no, that was a Nikhil Alexander Walker shot. And
is that what it was?
Yeah. It was all a blur. That whole thing was a blur.
It was a blur, but I was like, dude, like that was a crucial part of the game too, like that rebound. But anyways, the game goes to overtime. De'Aaron has 54 points going in. He hits 2 threes, but the Timberwolves, they hit 4 shots in a row to start overtime. Like, when you do that with only 5 minutes in an overtime, like a very minimal time.
2 of them were insane shots by Ant.
Like Ant, yeah, the one that pretty much iced the game where he I think Sabonis
It was like coming
was
off,
on him,
and then it was
in the
coming off.
corner.
Yeah, the corner coming off the dribble. 2 people covering him. I mean, that looks like MJ in a nutshell. That looked like MJ's like shot.
Mm-hmm.
That
I mean,
is
when
like
you're
an
shooting
MJ
14
Kobe shot.
threes, I mean, you're bound to hit those. But like he lives for the big moment, and like you saw it then, and it was an insane shot. And like luckily they reviewed it, and it was actually a 2-pointer. But at that point,
it didn't matter at that point.
it would have been. It was supposed to be a 5-point lead. They cut it. It was a 4 point lead at the end, and we just couldn't. At that point, there was not enough time to come back. But
Yeah, Anthony Edwards gave that team a lot of confidence that night. They shot 49 3-pointers to our 37. So when you see your best player making it and going crazy with scoring, it should give your other teammates confidence. And it happened with the T-Wolves and didn't happen with us. But yeah, they just looked like a team on the mission that was ready to play us. That's played in our arena before, and they just took care of business.
yeah, they had 7 players in double digits. Edwards 36, Randall 26, Naz Reid 16, Jaden McDaniels 14, Mike Conley 14, Gobert 11, and Nikhil Alexander Walker with 10.
Jesus.
But let's not talk about that. Although obviously it was a loss, we get it. We lose an NBA Cup game. We're still in it, by the way.
Yeah.
De'Aaron Fox made Sacramento Kings history last night. Can we just... Johnny was on one that night. He was losing his mind. He's like, we need to talk about this game. We need to talk about this game. I'm like, Johnny, I'm about to go home and like, I want to like talk about this game for the people. Like I was ready. Like I was locked in. I was like, I got to talk about this. But anyways, we talk about the game. 60 freaking points. I've never seen a performance like that in my entire life. I was lucky enough to be in the arena for the Keegan Murray 12 3-pointer game. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff in that arena, but that was unbelievable. I can't believe that Sacramento got to witness this. The ones that were fortunate enough to be at that game, we'll never forget that. This is a game that you will remember for the rest of your freaking lives.
Yep.
Unreal.
It was my nephew's first game too.
Talk about it. Take it away.
Yeah, so like I was saying, we are so grateful for De'Aaron Fox. He's the homegrown kid, right? The guy we drafted, the longest standing king on the roster right now, and he's always been underappreciated, undervalued. Never seen as a scorer, never seen as a top point guard in the league. What does he do? Drop 60 points on our NBA Cup debut against the Timberwolves.
He shattered his previous career high. Like seeing him how he played against Timberwolves and how he played tonight, you're like, how is his career high only 44? He made it look so easy in both games. And the crazy part was he did a majority of the scoring from inside the paint with the floaters over Gobert, the layups, the mid-range. He had only 6 3-pointers, so only 18 of his 60 were from the 3-pointer. Like, are you kidding me?
Are you kidding
and he
me?
didn't I didn't write down how many free throws he made, but he made 22 field goals. Unbelievable.
Yeah. Very very rare nowadays do you see a point guard that dominant in the mid-range in today's NBA. So he's kind of an old school point guard, as you can say.
I don't know what it is with De'Aaron Fox in NBA Cup games. I mean, because last year
just important games in general.
Because last year he led the league. He led the league in in-season tournament scoring. He averaged 34. And with Joel Embiid, Kevin Durant, the Nikola Jokic's of there.
Where are you pulling these stats out of?
I saw it. I saw it last night on the.
Oh, okay.
I saw it last night
I was about to say,
the TV.
This guy's brain needs to be
I
studied.
saw it last night on the TV, so that's why I was like, oh, I got to bring that down, write that down.
Just put RT in the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame just for his basketball mind. Man, honestly,
I'd love to be in the Hall of Fame. That'd be fun,
dude. De'Aaron Fox. Give him a statue. Retire his jersey. Do it all before. Like do it before he hangs it up. Like do it while he's there. We are not like we say it. Our slogan for De'Aaron is "We are not worthy." But I have something that is just it was so crazy to see because I was sitting in a diagonal view to where the Fox family sits courtside. I'm at a perfect diagonal view. And I think it was around the third quarter when I noticed, but Rasay was wearing the Fox shirt that I made. Like, she wore it, like, she spoke it into existence. She wore it on the best night he might ever have in his entire life. Like, she wore that shirt. RT texted me. Maya sent me a photo of the TV. My phone was blowing up. I think everyone saw it at the same time. And I was at the game, and I think we all saw it at the same time. It was crazy because, like, she stood up, and I was like, oh my God, she's wearing it at the perfect time.
What are the odds of that?
What are the freaking odds?
On De'Aaron Fox's career night.
Dude, that was such an awesome moment, dude. I was like, you're lying. Like, I can't believe this is happening. I mean, she's worn it before. I think Fox's dad wore it at a game, which was crazy. I think it was either Fox's dad or Rasay's dad. I've seen it before, but on this night, out of all nights.
Yeah. You know what I think that's a sign of? There might need to be another Fox t-shirt merch drop.
Coming soon.
the horizon.
A revamp?
Coming soon.
Just saying, if it worked that well.
Hey, shouts out to my boy Deweese. He gave me the greatest idea for a t-shirt. He sent it to me about 2 days ago. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you guys.
Yeah.
Let's spotlight. I just don't want anyone to steal it because it's so good.
All right, we can save it.
I'll tell you guys off the pod. I'll tell you off the pod. But shouts out to Deweese. You came up with the greatest idea
Shout out to Deweese.
But
I'm still beating you in fantasy this year, buddy.
wow, shots fired.
Dang. Chris doesn't want to talk about
Fox,
fantasy.
First name De'Aaron. Well, he's talking. Oh. Oh, you're talking about fantasy. I thought you were talking about fantasy football.
Yeah, it's fantasy football.
That's why I was like, we're not talking about fantasy. But then,
Hey, well, shout out to De'Aaron Fox for carrying my fantasy points league. Appreciate you, bro.
I haven't.
People were going crazy when I picked him with my second round pick.
No, that's.
Chris was like, I thought you were gonna go Embiid. Fox, I picked you over Embiid.
Value.
Good.
Got you, dog.
Boys.
My boy.
De'Aaron, Martez, Fox dropped a 60 ball.
Yeah.
We met up at Tom's Watch Bar after the game. I was talking to an old pal of mine, Zach Suarez. He recorded De'Aaron's 60th point, which was that step back 3 in overtime. And, dude, I wish I could just relive that moment on and on and on. Like, that was one of the greatest things ever. Even though we lost, I know it didn't result in a win, which... I mean, Ant Edwards hit some insane shots. Julius Randle was just bodying people in the paint. Like, we didn't get the win. We understand that. But we are here to celebrate King's history.
Yeah,
and tonight was almost NBA history. He was 1 point away from tying Kobe. But
yeah, that late game Fox 3 to tie it was probably the loudest I've ever heard the arena in my life, being at a live game. And when he's making step back threes and attempting step back threes like that, you just know his confidence is on another level. But if DeMar DeRozan's the president of the MIDI committee, I think Fox is the vice president.
Yeah.
I mean, he has to be.
Put them in the Oval Office.
And the only reason is because DeMar's older. But I think Fox is going to be president one day, if not co-president.
Yeah.
If not co-president with DeMar DeRozan.
They might be the first co-ed presidents of the MIDI committee in U.S. history.
Yeah,
like they need to talk about this they need to teach the kids this in the history classes. Talk about
U.S. history.
This.
U.S. History, Chapter 1, De'Aaron Fox and DeMar DeRozan.
Gotta do it.
Presidential MIDI committee members.
If DeMar DeRozan... Okay, let's just talk about the game. I have one more piece to say. If we had DeMar DeRozan or Malik Monk, we're winning that game. Okay?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think going into the game, we knew it was going to be the odds were completely against us. But the fact that we clawed back from 20 points, all because of De'Aaron Fox's aggressiveness and his mid-range ability, that was unbelievable to be a part of that ride.
So Fox breakout performance obviously has to be explained. Obviously he's a year older, but I think a lot of it has to do with Keegan stepping up on defense. So having him guard you in practice every single day, I think has helped Fox achieve this goal. I think having the confidence of a vet like DeMar DeRozan in his ear in the locker rooms, talking to him at practice, talking to him on the court, giving him words of encouragement during that whole 60-point game. So I think both those factors attributed to giving Fox this confidence to really pop off.
He always brings it back to his teammates at the end of the day. He always says, like, the reason why I'm able to perform like this is because of you guys.
Yeah.
And we have a great roster. We are missing key pieces. We lose a big game, but if it was a complete healthy roster, we would have won that game.
For sure.
And I think that the team overall played pretty well, except for Kevin Huerter that game. I mean, and Alex Len. But 60 points from Fox, 23 and 12 for Sabonis. Keegan, another double-double, 14 and 10. And then our bench actually scored 23 points. So that's not bad.
Not bad.
But we're missing DeMar DeRozan and Malik. I mean, we would have won that game. We would have been 1-0 in the NBA Cup. We would have been celebrating. But
we got 0 points in the point differential, though. So I found this out.
Right.
Yeah, because what happened is they exclude overtime. So basically our point differential is at 0. Yeah,
That's huge.
I didn't know that until last night because I was looking at the standings afterwards, and I woke up and I was like, "How do we have 0?" Looked at it. there's a rule where they exclude overtime point differentials because all games are not created equal. Especially if it's in overtime, that would not be fair if we got screwed over.
That's great.
I didn't know.
So
that
we're
either.
still alive. I mean,
we're still alive.
We still have to play Houston.
We got.
And
Well, we need help. We need help.
Yeah,
we need help. But
I think if we went out,
we have a good chance.
we'll be going to Vegas, boys.
Yeah.
So that
Fox just needs to be 50% of what he was against the Timberwolves, and we'll be fine
if
with
he's
a healthy team.
If he's 50% of what we saw against the Timberwolves the rest of the season, great things are going to happen
For sure.
And the fact that it was just one more thing to say. Sorry, I could talk about this all night. It looked effortless.
Yeah.
It looked effortless. Like he was getting to his spots in the mid-range, close-range area.
Yeah.
Floating the ball over Gobert. Like he saw Gobert or McDaniels. He started licking his chops. He knew he's like easy matchup. And
Yeah,
dude.
Every game my nephew goes on from here on out, he's like, if Fox gets anything below 50, he's gonna be like, what the heck? I'm not used to this.
Your nephew is gonna remember this game for the rest of his life. This is gonna make
Fox
him
is averaging 60 a game when my nephew's in the arena.
This is gonna make him want to play that. Like
For sure.
That's gonna be a core
that was
memory
the
for
coolest
him.
moment, was being there and having him witness that. Obviously me personally, but having that be his first game. You know, he's at the age where he's able to, you know, talk now and actually know what's going on. So yeah, that was definitely a special moment with my family.
That's so awesome, dude. It was an amazing moment for everyone involved, except for the win and loss call.
Except,
what can you
But we
do?
look at the positives. We're Kings fans. We look at the positives. And
Always.
We're so happy for De'Aaron Fox that even though it was a loss, we were able to bounce back the game after and you know, not keep the trend toward losing.
And this is just a great year for De'Aaron in general. I mean, like obviously a contract year. His signature shoe's coming out in a couple weeks, which I'm gonna get. You'll see a full review on the Kang Gang pod. Don't you worry.
And we were outspoken
It's gonna be a great year for De'Aaron.
And we were outspoken before the season started about how happy we were about Fox betting on himself, and this is exactly what's happening. Is he bet on himself? He, you know, waited to sign the contract to get more money because he knows the player he is, and he's doing exactly that so far.
And he was getting MVP chance back-to-back nights.
That's wild.
Love to
Unbelievable.
hear
I got
it.
chills hearing that.
Dude, me too.
That's
I heard it through the
chills.
TV. I
That's
heard it
chills.
with the Timberwolves game. It was so great.
That was amazing.
And now let's talk about the final game of the week, which was on, was that Wednesday? Wednesday. It was the Kings versus Suns. Johnny and I went to the game together. It was a very fun night. Me and Johnny went to Kadaiko. Shouts out Kadaiko. Excellent ramen. Excellent.
Great drinks. Beam slushy.
Oh, the beam slushy was great.
Beam slushy was awesome.
The deep fried chicken sandwich was incredible.
The chili caramel sauce. If you haven't had the chili caramel sauce from that
The
place.
chili caramel sauce, they normally put it on the Brussels sprouts, but we got it on the
So
side to dip in with the
good.
nori fries. Unreal.
Unreal.
We set the stage great. We walk into the arena. We were having an amazing time, and the Kings got the win by 23 points. They were missing KD. They were missing Beal. And normally, in the past years, that's when the Kings tend to play to their faults. You know, when they're missing their best players, we don't take care of business.
It looked like it almost happened in that third quarter, but we just turned it around.
We turned it around.
Yeah.
Like there's glimpses. I mean, let's break it down really quick. Biggest thing for me that from my memory in the first half was that DeRozan got injured. Like that was a blow because like DeRozan's track record is so good. So seeing him get injured and not returning, like that was a rare sighting. Keegan Murray played excellent defense on Devin Booker. The guy that really stood out for me on Phoenix's end was Josh Okogie. He had 25 points and was just playing unreal. And the only reason why he was going off is because Devin Booker was not able to carry the load because Keegan Murray was locking him down. So like just back to Keegan's impact defensively, best guy on the court, Keegan, you're guarding him, and he makes it extremely tough. What did you guys see in that in the Phoenix game?
Yeah, we were just shooting the lights out. It seems like we put our foot on their necks early and we didn't let up. So you want to see that. Those are complete wins, as Coach Brown loves to say. But we just shot the lights out. I mean, Trey Lyles 3 for 5 from 3. Keegan Murray 3 for 5 from 3. Sabonis 3 for 3 from 3. So
insane.
It's amazing.
Insane.
It's amazing when our shots are going in and we're getting assists too. So Fox had 10 assists. Sabonis had 9 assists. When two of your best players are also distributing the ball and getting close to double-doubles with assists, you're not going to lose many games like that.
No, I agree.
And our bench stepped up like crazy.
The bench again stepped up. I mean, it was such a clinic of just good basketball overall, and that's what you want to see from the Kings. They just played very well. They knew that the Suns were a very good team, even without KD and Beal. They didn't matter. We took care of it, and we did it at home too, which is even more awesome. So
My favorite thing is that like we're winning games at home now. Like we really want to make when people come to Sacramento, we want them to realize that it's a tough environment to win in. And like the fact that we got 2 out of 3 wins at home this week, amazing to see. We have one more home game on this upcoming Monday against the Hawks. So it'd be great to get 3 out of 4 wins at home. That would be awesome for the Kings. Let's break down the stats. Keegan had 17 points. Sabonis, 11 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists. Kevin Huerter, 22 points, 3 steals. He had an excellent game.
Great game.
Fox, 29 and 10.
Beautiful game from him, too.
And then let's talk about the bench, because this is important. Johnny, who's your favorite player off the bench?
His name is Jordan McLaughlin.
He had 11 points. He played great.
What's new?
Who's my favorite player off the bench?
Trey Lyles.
Trey Lyles. He had 13 points. Trey Lyles has a great outside of Malik
nowadays,
Monk. Outside of Malik Monk. Trey Lyles has had a breakout week this year. Or I'm sorry, this week.
This week.
Obviously De'Aaron Fox scoring 29 points, then 60, and then 49. Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. And then Keon Ellis that night, he had 9 points. So I mean the scoring was just spread out perfectly that game. Everyone was playing good.
Everyone on that roster 1 through 15 wanted to get that Spurs loss out of their mouth, it seemed like. So yeah, complete game from everyone on the roster, and you love to see that.
Was it the Spurs game? Oh wait, no, the game before the Spurs where we had 3, right? 3 3-pointers made.
Oh yeah,
I think it was 3. I think we had 10. Yeah, we had 10 against the Spurs, and then we bumped up to 15 against the Suns. Wolves. Do you remember how many threes we had against the Wolves? I think it was over 10. I think it was over 10. And then tonight it was 19. Mm-hmm. So we're trending upwards with 3-pointers. Great to see. This was just an amazing week for Kings basketball. Like, we're never going to forget this week. Episode 10, like when we're hundreds of episodes in, we're always going to look back to episode 10.
I think that's the 10th
This was
episode.
the De'Aaron Fox week. Like, this is going to be very important for us. Like, we'll never forget it. And, boys, closing remarks on an amazing week of Kings basketball.
We love you, De'Aaron Fox. We really love you. We love you here at the Kang Gang Pod.
Yeah, De'Aaron Fox, you are amazing, and I'm so happy. We're so happy that you're getting recognition from your peers, from Anthony Edwards, and from everyone around the league, because you deserve it. And you stayed loyal to the Kings, and the least we can do is stay loyal to you as fans. So thank you so much for De'Aaron Fox, and thank you for everything. And you deserve the MVP chance. You really do.
MVP.
It was an unbelievable week for Sacramento Kings fans. One more thing I wanted to add. It's just really funny. The City Edition jerseys were revealed in today's game, and with this I actually want to talk to you guys about, because I have my conspiracy theories. But when they revealed the City Edition jersey, they also revealed a new Sacramento Kings mascot going off of the Cincinnati Royals logo. His name was Roy Owl. But then they showed De'Aaron Fox a photo of what the mascot looks like. RT, what does he say?
What the fuck is that?
And rightfully so. I mean, like, that mascot, I mean, compared to Slamson, it's hideous. But,
yeah.
I mean...
Fox was on point with his analysis. He said he looked like a fast food mascot.
Yeah.
I mean, it
was like JJ the Jet play.
And
Doesn't look like a sports mascot.
Yeah, but it's I get what they were trying to do, like, be completely different. Like, no other sports team has brought on a new mascot for a jersey reveal. Like, that's pretty cool. And I think, honestly, I want to hear your guys' opinion. I sent it to you during the game because I saw the King. We were down 11 to the Jazz tonight, and then the Kings social media team was pumping out funny content, and I'm like, guys, the game's on right now. Like, what are you doing? Like, wait till after. But they post a video of Scott Fresh introducing Roy Owl to Slamson, and they had a little thing like. They had a little showdown, a little stare off, and then Slamson ends up shipping him out back to Cincinnati. And I don't think that my thoughts is I don't think that was the plan.
I don't think so.
I really think they thought this was a cool idea. It was going to be awesome for the arena. But De'Aaron Fox, since he is the MVP, the GOAT of our team,
he said no, thank you.
He said I don't want that. Like he said, get that out of here. And I think they came up with that idea right away to get rid of him, but. Or maybe it was just excellent marketing. Like, let's come up with a crazy mascot. Let's show Fox, get his reaction. And, like, I don't know if it was all pre-planned. I doubt it. But...
I doubt it.
Yeah. Like, it was...
That definitely could have been a marketing scheme. But I think when you have a mascot as iconic as Slamson, you can't replace him, even if it's temporary. I think it's impossible to replace. So it wouldn't put it past them to have that be a marketing scheme to fake everyone out. So,
but it was really well played. Like coming out with that video, and like we don't know if it was pre-planned, but having that video of shipping him out in a crate and then Slamson wearing the City Edition jersey, like that was brilliant.
That was.
And I just, I'm sure Kenny was behind it. Shout out Kenny, but like we asked some questions. I'll text you after this, but like that was brilliant. Like I just want to talk about that. And one other thing before we go, Johnny, can you share what happened at Tom's Watch Bar on Wednesday versus Suns game?
Yeah, we had a fan that actually saw us and was, had our page pulled up and bought us a shot.
He was like, he didn't buy us a shot.
He didn't buy us a shot.
But he pulls out his phone. He's like, "This is you guys, right?" And we're like, "Yeah." And then we introduce himself. Shouts out Jason, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Jason.
It was very cool to have that happen to us with a brand new podcast. Like, it just shows like what we're doing is being well received. Like we're slowly growing.
Yeah, totally unexpected, but that was a really cool interaction and a real cool guy. So yeah, shout out Jason for sure.
Shouts out Jason. Shouts out the Kang gang.
I do owe you a shot though.
Yeah. Next time we see you, we'll take care of you. But thank you so much for watching episode 10, boys. We made it to the double digits. Like they say, if you could do 10 podcasts consecutively, you could do a million more to go. So I think what we're building here is special. The Kang gang, thank you guys for subscribing, for watching our videos on Instagram. We're not going to stop. We're going to
keep sharing with your friends.
We're going to keep on
coming. Make sure you like the videos. The videos on YouTube. We should start the episodes by saying that, but if you made it this far, just like the videos,
smash that like button, smash the algorithm. You know what to do,
boys. Episode 10 is in the books. Thank you so much for watching. An amazing week of Kings basketball, and we'll see you on episode 11.
76-6. Let's go.
Let's go.